once said, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And over the last few months of 2025, that's something I've really been learning the meaning of. You know, if you don't put good habits in place, if you don't work on the personal development, no one's going to be able to save you from yourself. And it's probably been one of the hardest lessons that I've had to learn. And maybe that's why when I have been successful in the past, I haven't sustained it, because some of those bad habits have been kind of pulling me back. You know, waking up late, being lazy, eating like absolute rubbish. So when it came time to rebuild, I had to start with me and myself. You know, that meant getting up early. So getting up from the 6 a.m. I think is the latest, but I'll be honest, I don't always hit the mark. So today I got up at 7, on the way to the gym right now. But the gym session, that's part of the rebuild. The same with food. So cutting out all the processed junk. You know, most of us don't realize how much processed food that we're eating, especially if we're not tracking it. You know, I used to say I'll never track calories, and then I had to be honest with myself. If I ever wanted the dream physique that I was after, I need every bit of help I can get. So I started tracking. I learned so much. I just didn't have that knowledge before, you know, and now I've refined it down, I've worked it down. So I now basically, you know, a pretty basic palette: fruit, veg, meat, chicken, fish, eggs. Not perfect, but it's made a big difference in my life. So if you're trying to rebuild, if you're trying to grow an online business, become a millionaire, you have to start here first with your own daily habits, because that's your foundation, which you'll take as part of your work ethic, discipline into anything that you do. Get up early, go to the gym, and in my mind, everyone needs to lift weights and eat properly. Also, I'd say start reading, you know, not blogs, not social media, just start reading real books. And this is something one of my sisters is very, very hot on, actually, just education, reading, you know. Something I recommend is Ego is the Enemy by Ryan Holiday. I think even that book, you know, something it taught me about myself is that I might have a bit too much pride for someone that's trying to rebuild, is trying to make it, and kind of how to let that ego go. Even learning more about kind of, when my ego may come up where I hadn't initially thought so. So once you get the basic rules right, you can start thinking clearer, you move with more intention, and you won't fall for the noise, you know, because there's so many online gurus nowadays talking about, you know, drop shipping, Airbnb arbitrage, you know, 6-figure trading. And I'm not saying no businesses don't work. There are real businesses and real successful people in all those fields. They're just not usually the ones who are on social media posting every day, TikTok, Instagram, trying to sell you a course on it. The people really building, really doing that work, really making that money, they don't have the time. And I know this because I was in a startup business for 5 years. I didn't have the time. Yeah, we sold training here and there, but I didn't have the time to be taking on, you know, putting out ads, training 10, 20, 30 clients, you know, running a full-time business, actually bringing in real money. So I'll leave you with this, you know, if you can't master the basics, then no matter what you build on top, it won't last. And no one's coming to save you, especially not from yourself. More to come. Thanks for listening. I'll see you soon.